quilty friends, it's Carolina Moore, your favorite sewing and quilting YouTuber. And if you're here, you probably know what today is. It is Advent launch day, and I'm so excited. This is the 5th year that we're doing the Mini Quilt Advent. I have some of the past Mini Quilt Advents behind me. We're going to talk about what the Mini Quilt Advent is for folks who really don't know or just want a quick refresher. We're going to talk about this year's Mini Quilt Advent, and there's going to be links down in the description to get you to where you need to be to get all the things that you want that are all Mini Quilt Advent. I'm going to be talking about dates and all the things, so let's jump right into it. Now, the Mini Quilt Advent is a physical Advent calendar that you order and gets shipped directly to you or whatever address you choose, and there are a couple different options. The first option is the standard 12-day Mini Quilt Advent. And in past years, this would have made any of the quilts behind me. These are all 12-day mini quilts made with a 12-day Mini Quilt Advent packet. It will be in a zipper pouch, just like this, just the logo will be a different color. We change out the color of the logo every year. And inside, you get a set of instructions. And the instructions take you through everything, the details of how it works. The back of the instructions has QR codes and links to finishing videos. And then the inside of the instructions, you don't have to look at if you don't want to. But if you do look at it, and this is last year, so I'm not giving anything away here, but if you do look at the inside, it just shows you how it's all going together, because some people want to be able to see the way the whole quilt's going to come together before they make their individual blocks. So you can take a peek at this if you want, or if you want to just stay secret, you keep it closed and it's pretty secret. You also have envelopes for every single day. The 12-day Advent has envelopes 1 through 12, and they're all numbered with a sticker and on the day that you want. So you can open all of the envelopes the moment it gets to you. You're totally allowed. I just ask that you not post or share that anywhere, so people who want the daily surprise can have the daily surprise. But the idea is that on the day, so this would be the 1st of December, you open it up, and inside you find that day's template and then that day's pattern. And then the pattern has instructions for using this template to make a quilt block. The quilt blocks can be cumulative, so day 3's block might use the day 1 template and the day 3 template, or the 1, 2, and 3 template. Day 8 block might just use the day 8 template. It might use 8, 5, and 1. You don't know, but you will always have the templates in advance for what you need to make the block if it uses multiple templates. On the back, I have a QR code that will take you directly to that day's video when it's live on the day, and also a written out link, so that if you want to watch these videos a year later, you can just scan that QR code and you can still watch the video. The videos stay up. The year 1 videos, it's just a younger me. They're still up back in 2021. So you can still watch them. You just can't get the Advent anymore. We do make a limited number, and when they sell out, they sell out. We do not make additional Advents. They shouldn't sell out here in pre-order. I've never had that happen before. That would be a first. I do estimate a good number, and we are making a little bit more this year than we did last year, but it is a limited number, and once they're gone, they are gone, and we do not remake them. So this is a 12-day version of the Advent. There are folks who, starting in year 2, I got requests for extending it to 24 days. And so in year 3, I started adding bonus days. It is a second little zippered pouch, and in it are new QR codes for finishing videos, and 12 more envelopes, days 13 through 24. Now, these videos are hidden. The only way you can get to these videos is by using the links or QR codes that are on the patterns. And day 13, 14, and 15 have an acrylic template and a pattern. And then after that, it's just patterns. So it makes the add-on less expensive because we're only giving you 3 more templates. But the patterns, there'll be a new pattern continuing on day 16 all the way through 24, so that you end up making 24 blocks. And then the same finishing instructions have instructions for making it into a whole big quilt with all 24 blocks. All right, that's the advent calendar and the basics of how it works. And I know y'all have been impatiently waiting to know what this year's shape is going to be, because in 2021, we did 3-inch finished squares. In 2022, we did 6-inch finished squares. In 2023, we did the 6-inch finished diamonds. And last year in 2024, we did the 4x6 rectangles. So this year, in 2025, we are doing 4.5-inch finished squares. Which sounds crazy. I know, that's a ridiculous size. Except, hear me out. A 4.5-inch finished square, squared up, so unfinished before you add all your borders and put it in the quilt, is 5 inches square. So you square it up to 5 inches, which means that all of these templates are designed to make blocks that will pair with charm squares. So you can make these blocks years into the future with these templates and add them to charm square quilts. You can either just grab a pack of 5-inch squares or a pack of 10-inch squares and cut them into quarters, and that way you have a bunch of 5-inch squares, and sew them all together and mix in some pieced blocks between that. Or you can make your 4.5-inch finished square blocks using these templates and then checkerboard it with a block and then a solid square, a block, a solid square, a block, a solid square. So there are so many ways in the future that you're going to be using these blocks to make other quilts and do other projects. I love doing things that aren't available, that aren't out there, and this template set isn't out there. There isn't a set of templates designed to go with sets of 5-inch squares. And this also makes sense because my book that is launching next month is all about 10-inch squares and quilts that you can make with 10-inch squares. There's a madness to my method, there really is. I really think that these are going to be such useful templates, not just during Advent season and not just for making this Advent quilt, but that you're going to go to again and again. There are some really great blocks, especially in the bonus days, that you're going to reach for and make and then use in other quilts, either the fronts of the quilts, the back of the quilts. It's such a perfect shape for the sizes of pre-cuts that we have out in the market. So that is the shape that we have. The color of the acrylic templates is this really pale blush pink. My studio lights are so bright here you can barely see it, but it's this really pale blush pink that etches up beautifully to be able to see those lines. But this is the color. It's this really pretty, almost clear but not, pale blush pink. Also, I don't know if y'all care as much about the packaging, but the first couple years I packaged it up in a pink glitter tissue. Last year we went to a white tissue with pink polka dots on it. This year it's a white tissue with silver stripes. And then around the 12-day is going to be this ribbon, which is a light pink with a silver of the name of my company, Carolina Moore Patterns, and the logo on there. And so we're changing up from the teal with the pink to a pink with a silver ribbon. And that's what they're going to be wrapped up. So they come all wrapped up like a gift, because they should be a gift. This should be a gift for you that either someone purchases for you or you get to purchase for yourself. It comes as a gift. And I wrap every single one of these before they go out. So this is my gift to you, that I make sure that it arrives as a present. And that's also why we do a limited run. It's a decent sized limited run, but we do a limited run because I'm wrapping hundreds of gifts for quilters basically before the holidays. All right, let's talk about the kind of bonuses and upgrades, and then we're going to talk about dates. So you start with the 12-day Advent, and it's been really important to me that that 12-day Advent stay under $100. That's why we do a limited run. That's why I don't make enough to be able to sell them into quilt shops, because we're keeping it small so that we can make them here. That keeps our labor costs down, and it means that we can have them at a lower price in your hands, because I really want these to be as accessible as possible for quilters. Those of you who have been following along on the channel know that I've been buying a bunch of other different advent calendars, and they tend to be like $200 or more for advent calendars. And I'm sure they're great, but it does put it out of the price point for a lot of people. And I know that this advent, even at the price point I have it at, will still be out of a lot of budgets, but I'm doing the absolute best I can to give you a stellar product at the lowest price we can, so it really is affordable. So the base 12-day advent, that's where you start. Then you can add on the days 13 through 24 if you want. Also, if you want to use the fabric that I'm going to be using in all the videos, and the fabric that I kind of had in mind as I designed everything, if you're just doing the 12 days, you can get a fat quarter bundle. That is more than enough fabric. Honestly, like a fat eighth bundle probably would have been enough, except for the sashing fabric. You need a full fat quarter of the sashing that we're using. But everything else, you might be able to get away with a fat eighth, especially if you're not going to be really like careful about fussy cutting. If you want to use your own fabrics, get 8 fat quarters, have 1 in mind for your sashing and the other 7 that you're going to use for cutting your pieces. So you can absolutely use fat quarters from your own stash, fat quarters that you love. If these designs and colors are not for you, no worries. Other fabrics will work great, but these are the ones that I've picked, and it's 8 fat quarters from the Art Gallery Fabrics Christmas line this year that is done by Katerina Roccella. Now, if you're doing all 24 days, I highly recommend the half yard. You might be able to do it with the fat quarter bundle. I don't try though, because I like to be able to fussy cut designs. So I recommend the half yard bundle if you're doing the 24 day. Last year I had a lot of requests for backing fabric, so I added that on this year. There is a backing fabric option. There's only one. There's not a 12-day and 24-day backing, because it's just too many things for me to keep here in stock. So there is a backing fabric. I believe it's 1.5 yards that'll say on the site exactly how big it is. And so we have these backing fabrics available if you want this backing fabric. And then last year I added on a binding. This year I'm adding on a binding as well. So we have our little 1/4 yard of cute stripey. This is the binding or the stripey that is with this colorway of fabric. So it'll coordinate, and you'll have coordinating fabrics for your back, for your front, for your binding. So you can get all those if you want. Also, because these all square up at 5 inches, we made this year a 5-inch square up, so you can square up your blocks. We had a diamond square up when we did the diamonds, and it was just the day 1 of the templates. We didn't have a square up last year, and I missed it. So I really wanted a square up this year. So we have a square up, and it's the same light, pale, frosty pink that all the other templates are in. So if you want a matching square up ruler to go with all your other templates that you can use, and you can also use this to cut 5-inch squares out of fabric. So basically to cut your own charm squares with this 5-inch square up designed to go with this advent calendar. That is an extra add-on that we added this year as well. So that's going to be available. Or if you haven't yet splurged on a glow ruler for yourself, the glow ruler squares up to 6 inches. So you can absolutely square up with the glow ruler as well. So if you are really treating yourself this Christmas, you can add on a glow ruler and use the glow ruler to square up. Remember, when you put together your order, that advent calendar products don't ship until the first week of November, which means that if you put in a glow ruler, if you put in other patterns or like jewelry hardware for the quilted jewelry or anything else in your cart, it will all ship complete the first week of November. I cannot split out the orders. The system won't let me. Once I ship part of the order, it shows the whole order is fulfilled, and then I'm afraid your advent will not get sent out to you. So we don't ship out partial orders. We also can't combine 2 orders. So if you say, oh, I ordered this and then later on I decided to order that, that's amazing. You will just get 2 packages. There's no way with all the hundreds of orders that we manage that we can match up this one to this one. If you order in 2 different packs, it comes as 2 different packs. That's just the way it is. Also, there are some of the 2024 Advents still available. There's just like a couple dozen, I think, on the site still. Those are in stock. If you order it with the 2025 Advent, it will ship with the 2025 Advent. If you want the 2024 Advent now, place it as 2 separate orders. We'll ship the 2024 Advent now, and then the 2025 Advent in the first week of November when they're all assembled, put together, and ready to ship to you. All right, so let's talk dates, and then I'm going to give you a couple spoilers if you want to stay for those. So the launch is today. All of this is available up on the site right now today. The pre-sale happens for 2 weeks. You'll get the details about the pre-sale on the site. So if you're here in the first 2 weeks, go over to the site and you'll get the pre-sale details. After that, we'll continue to sell until they're sold out. We do our shipping the first week in November. So we get all of these packed up. It's a huge process, huge project. We get them all packed up, and our goal is to ship all of them out the first week in November. So even international folks will be able to get them on time. Now, I know that there are all kinds of international shipping issues going on right now. I have no control over those. I don't know what the international shipping landscape is going to look like in the first week of November. So if you are an international customer, that's something that you'll have to consider as you're ordering. Once they go into the USPS hands or UPS hands, whichever way they end up getting shipped, and the system decides what the best method for that is, once they're out of my hands, they are out of my hands, and I cannot control what happens to them out in the world. So if you decide to order now and then you want a refund, I can absolutely refund you up until October 31st. So if you say, yes, I want to order because I want it, but then when we get to the end of October, the international shipping landscape has changed, you can cancel up till October 31st because then I know that they won't be shipped out yet. But after that, once they're shipped, it's out of my control. So that's your fair warning. That's all I've got for you. Now, spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, you want to stop here. But if you are up for some spoilers, continue to watch. I'm only going to give a couple spoilers today. Next week, I will have another video where I will give many more spoilers. And that way, folks who really don't want to see spoilers won't be too tempted because they won't click play on that. But if you would like a couple spoilers on what's happening, obviously, this is quarter square triangle. And this is one of the templates. We also have a little square. So these are some of the templates that we are using. And there are a total of 15 of these templates. So days 1 through 12, and then 13, 14, 15 all have templates. I'm going to show you 2 of the blocks. Now, I love fussy cutting. So this is one of the blocks. I fussy cut the little deer, and I did some play with the gnomes, and then this is one of the kind of more background fabrics. And this one was a joy to fussy cut. This is a little 9 patch. And I fussy cut all of these. And in all the videos, I walk through the process of fussy cutting. I walk through the fabric choices that I'm making and why. And if you want to see what that looks like, you can go to the past year's videos, especially like the more recent ones. It's going to be a very similar process. Every day we get to sit down and make a block together. If you're someone who works Monday through Friday, you can then on Saturday, you can just watch all the videos back to back if that works for you. You can watch them on the days that they come out, and then on the weekend watch them again as we make the blocks together. Totally up to you. The videos stay up. I think I've answered all the questions. If not, leave your questions down below. I will be watching for questions all day today and trying to answer those as quickly as I can so that you have all the information that you need to order. Friends, I hope you are as excited as I am about 4.5 inch finished squares, which square up at 5 inches. It's the perfect size. I'm so excited. All right, friends, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up to let YouTube know you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Leave your questions and comments down below, and I will see you right here real soon. Bye for now.